What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you all have had a great start to your week, a great Monday. In this video, we're going to break down what looks to be a washout for portions of the Southeast, especially the Carolinas and coastal areas of the Southeast. And we're going to talk about how much rain we could expect. I'm going to go over that briefly, and then I'm going to give you all an update on what the tropics looks like. As it looks like, well, they have. The National Hurricane Center has introduced an area of interest way out in the main development region. And it's got a 20% chance to develop here in the next 5 days. And we talked about that last night, that there was going to be a good chance that the National Hurricane Center was going to pull the trigger on a chance of development somewhere out there. And there's a tropical wave that we're going to talk about a little bit. We're not going to get very detailed, but we're going to talk about what it looks like today, what the models look like overnight, and what they look like right now. And talk about kind of what is going on and what has the potential to go on, especially as we get towards the end of the week into the weekend, where I think the tropics will become a much bigger topic. So if you guys have not subscribed, definitely hit the subscribe button. I upload videos every single day, at least I try to. And some days, depending on how active the weather is, sometimes I'll do 2 videos in one day. So thank y'all for the incredible support. I guess I can't talk today. Like the video if you like it, and let's get going here. So let's take a look at the. Let me slow down, guys. Let's take a look at the rain situation tomorrow, as it looks like it's going to be. I wouldn't call it a washout. It's always hard to say washout in summer because you always have breaks. A lot of times you get those washout scenarios in winter where it just rains all day. But this might be the case for some people tomorrow. It looks like it's going to rain more than 50% of the day, I tell you that. But as we're getting going, we're going to take a look at the long-range HRRR model. We get going into the morning hours. I think rain's going to move in as early as this evening into the Georgia area, then overnight into Georgia, into the wee hours of the morning into South Carolina. A lot of people in South Carolina are going to wake up to some heavy rain potentially in the morning hours, and then it drifts into the North Carolina area and this whole entire state as you get to later into the morning tomorrow. As you get going throughout the day, some heavier downpours are going to develop, some tropical downpours. Some areas, especially for the coastal areas right into here, are going to get a ton of rain tomorrow. Some areas could get anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of rain, I think, tomorrow. And that's just tomorrow. This is going to be going on a good portion of the week, and tomorrow is really where it starts off with a bang. So it's been very hot. It's been very, I wouldn't say very dry. Some areas have missed on the rain. I know my area has actually, I've only picked up not even a half inch of rain in almost, I would say, 10 to 12 days. So it's that mixed with how dry it's been, not a lot of rain. So I think a lot of areas get rain tomorrow that maybe have missed on the rain. But another thing that I don't have really a graphic up here is how much cooler it's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be a rain-cooled day, not for everybody, but I'd say what areas like in South Carolina, North Carolina, portions of Georgia is going to be highs only making it into the 70s, maybe even 60s for certain areas in North Carolina and Virginia. We'll see how that works out. But look at all this rain here, especially on the coastal eastern Carolinas. It's a lot of rain as we get into tomorrow evening and tomorrow overnight. But as far as rainfall, this is through Wednesday morning. Look at the coastal areas of North Carolina and South Carolina. Several inches of rain expected, and we can't forget about the panhandle of Florida, southern areas of Alabama and Georgia. A lot of rain. A couple of inches of rain inland also. So a good bit of rain expected. What sucks is my sump pump for my driveway actually went out. So that's actually very unfortunate. Kind of sucks because my driveway might flood a little bit, but we're hoping to get that fixed. Anyways, a little off topic here, but check it out. There's a slight risk of excessive rainfall going on here on the coastal areas of the Carolinas, small area of Georgia. That is a 10 to 20% chance of flash flooding occurring of 25 miles at any given location in this area. This is a pretty big area. So we need to watch out for flash flooding occurring for sure, especially for areas you've already picked up a lot of rain. And certain areas of the eastern Carolinas have picked up a lot of rain over the last few days. But let's switch over to the tropics real quick, and there's an area of interest. This area way out here in the tropical Atlantic has a 20% chance to develop in the next 5 days. It's an area of interest. They don't think it's going to survive. They think it's going to interact with some cooler waters as it drifts north. A monsoon trough is actually going to interact with this and pull it north. And it's going to go into more drier air and probably some colder sea surface temperatures, as there's a sharp boundary right here between cooler waters and warmer waters right here in the tropical Atlantic. But tropics are starting to gradually heat up. Right now, this is the what we got going on as far as what is currently on satellite here. This is the wave they're talking about. There's a little piece of energy right here too. Then you just have a big old surge of moisture starting to move into the Carolinas, and this is kind of an area we're going to talk about that's going to provide a lot of rain tomorrow. As far as the GFS and as far as what it's showing, the latest GFS, this is just one operational run. As we're getting going through in time, pops off that low pressure right here as we get into Wednesday morning, has that falling apart. But then there's another wave right in here that forms. It gets going as we get into the late week into this weekend. You notice the low pressure pops off right here as we get into the tail end of this coming weekend. And it tries to get going, gets about midway point through the tropical Atlantic, and then it fizzles out eventually as we get into next week. But there's still a tropical plume of moisture right here that can develop. You got a ridge of high pressure up here. It's going to force it southward. So it's going to be interesting to watch. Now, as we're looking at the European model, it's kind of the same situation. They're actually agreeing right now. Kind of dwindles away that one tropical wave, and then a more robust tropical wave forms off the coast of North Africa and gets going here. But it kind of the same thing happens. It kind of dwindles apart. The European was very aggressive this morning into the overnight model, showing a full-fledged hurricane. So the models are kind of still going back and forth as expected. So we're trying to figure out what's going to happen. Ridge of high pressure is going to remain on top up here. So anything that develops down here is going to stay down here, and it might have a chance, if anything keeps going, to curve once it gets in the weakness of the ridge of high pressure. But as of now, ridge of high pressure sits in the North Atlantic, keeps everything more south. We look at the SpaghettiOs as far as what the European ensembles are showing. As we're moving through in time, you see these little circles that pop up. They're still showing. It's going to be hard to see on your screen, but it's not quite as aggressive as when I made the video last night. But we need to pay attention. They're going to be flip-flopping like crazy, going all over the place, and it's still an area we need to watch out for. You look at the GFS ensembles. There's still some signals out there for some tropical development for sure. It has one big dog making it, doing that kind of that scary little track right here as it kind of goes through and goes north of the Caribbean islands into the Bahamas. That would be a bad scenario right here, but that's just one. It's just the ensembles. It's a bunch of members thrown together. So we need to watch this. I will mention again, area of interest right here from the National Hurricane Center. It's something we need to watch out for and really pay attention to. The tropics are regardless heating up. We expected this, but I think it's going to heat up even more as we get into the next several days, especially as we get into the second week of August. So that's all I got, guys. I know I talked about 90 miles per hour in this video, but I'm actually trying to step away and trying to go watch my favorite show, which is on the Outer Banks. I don't know if any of you guys like that. I try to keep it real with y'all. I try to talk to y'all like y'all are right here beside me, like y'all are my friends. But it's a great show, so I'm going to go actually watch that and finish it up. So y'all have a great evening. God bless all of y'all, and thank y'all for tuning in.